Hey lovely souls, welcome to Tarotland. I'm so excited for today's reading because I'm combining tarot and charm casting into one reading to help you see what's upcoming for you in 2025. So if you've been wanting insight on the year ahead, definitely stay tuned for this message. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. I'm Lynn and it's my goal to bring a little bit of magic into your day. So if you want to see more videos of mine, definitely make sure you turn on that bell notification when you subscribe so you don't miss out when I post my next video. I post new videos every single week and I post shorts daily. If my reading resonates for you and you want to support the channel, give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps out in the algorithm. And if you would like to get a personalized 2025 year ahead reading, I am selling that on my Etsy shop. And if there's other people in your life who could use insight for the upcoming year, go ahead and send them this video. So for your piles today, I have 3 different cards for them. So we have the Three of Wands, Justice, and the Knight of Wands. Now you can do this in whatever way makes sense for your intuition, but if you're unsure about what pile to choose, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to clear your mind. And then I want you to listen to your intuition or your inner voice as you look at all the cards and see which one your energy is being pulled towards. I say this for 2 reasons. The first reason is that your intuition is going to lead you to the pile that is meant for you, but also because 2025 is our future. It's what's coming ahead for us. And so just because who you are now, if you look at these cards, you might feel like you are currently one of these energies, or you might not feel like you're any of these energies. But 2025 isn't about who you are now, it's about who you're going to become. So I want your intuition to lead you to the card with a message that's showing you what's coming for you, what's next for you, what's going to happen this year. Not what you believe already, not what you think is going to happen. I want this reading to provide insight and guidance for you so that you're prepared for the things that you can't even think of, whether it's good or bad. I want you to be prepared by having all the answers you need, not just hearing what you want. And so once you have picked your pile, the timestamps are going to be in the description box down below. I can't wait to see you all at your readings, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. So for your cards, you have the Nine of Swords, Three of Wands, Strength, and the Eight of Cups. Okay, so starting with the Nine of Swords, this is the card that represents fear and anxieties and nerves for the year that's coming up. And it feels like there's going to be a stressful situation. And I say that because you also have the Hula Girl in the circle of protection laying face down, and she's half in of the circle of protection and half out. And what this means to me is that you're going to have some anxiety or level of fears entering your life, and you're going to be protected as you're going through them, but there's a validity to these fears. It's not like you are spiraling about something that's not true. It feels like in 2025 there's going to be some sort of life-changing event that is going to be stressful for you. It feels like there's going to be things that you're worried about, and it's valid for you to be worried about them. It feels like there's a major change in 2025 for you. This is a year of personal growth and development, but it's because there's things that are triggering you to have to grow, have to mature, have to evolve. And so yes, you are putting in effort this year to become a better person, but it's more like you are reacting to the circumstances and choosing not to let them define you, choosing not to let them hold you back. And so it feels like you have a lot of power when it comes to improving your life, but it's not entirely internal this year. It feels like there's external events that trigger this growth for you, that make you seek out higher knowledge or insight, advice, wisdom, guidance, mentorship in order to move forward and out of this current cycle, because I think you're getting pushed into a situation that is not good for you. I think mentally it's going to take a really big toll on you, and you're going to reach this impasse in your life in 2025 where you can allow this to keep you in this spiral, in this negative self-belief, or you can choose to heal and you can choose to work through the pain and face your fears and face the triggers that this incident has stirred up inside of you. Now, some of you, I do want to prepare you. This external event could be an actual death in your life. And I say that because you have multiple Scorpio charms here. Now, with Scorpio, it doesn't have to be a literal death, but you do have it multiple times in this reading, and paired with the Nine of Swords and the changes of the growth that I see within your year ahead with the tarot cards here, it is a possibility for some of you. And I want you to be aware that, not because I'm trying to scare you, but because you need to be prepared that things can change and they can be unexpected. And I know this video is going to come out a little bit before the new year, before we actually enter 2025. And so just take the time that you can to spend it with your loved ones and embrace the time that you have with them, because it's not guaranteed. And with this Scorpio energy, I also feel like there's going to be transformation of your life, not just because of this event that takes place, but also because you then are using this as a catalyst to make other changes in your life. And so yes, you're going to grow internally, but it also feels like externally you are changing a lot. You're changing a lot physically, and it feels like you're going to kind of look at how you're living your life now, and the things that is not in alignment with you, it feels like you're changing. It feels like you're getting away from them. And that's where there's this Nine of Swords energy coming into play in 2025, because it feels like there's things that you are stressed about. You're worried about them because they don't feel right, because you know it's not in alignment with the life that you want, but you keep hoping that it's going to change, that it's going to sort itself out. And the Three of Wands is where you kind of realize, oh shit, it's not getting better. It's not changing. And I actually want to point out, like, the way that the charms are. In the Nine of Swords, you have the Circle of Protection. You have the Hula Girl face down in it, telling you that there's fears that you're facing, and your fears are protected in the sense of they're coming into your awareness for a reason. But if we see, the Circle of Protection ends at the Three of Wands. And so what this is telling me is that the Three of Wands is where the safety net goes, the protection goes, the bubble is popped, basically. So you're no longer just thinking about these things as a way to protect yourself. Now you're taking action with that. Now you are actually changing your life, and you're out of the security of the comfort of your life as it once was, and you're moving into unknown territory. That doesn't mean that you're not protected at all. It just means you're not in your comfort zone anymore, and you don't know how to navigate these new waters. It feels like you're really making changes in your life that's shaking up your level of comfort and your level of stability and security. It feels like you're taking risk that you typically wouldn't have done before, but it's like you are like literally changing your entire life is what it really feels like. And so 2025 is going to be a very intense year for you, because there is so many changes that are occurring, and they're not simple changes. The Three of Wands is an energy of someone who is curious and someone who is really looking for answers and insight. And it feels like that's what you're looking for this year. You're no longer finding comfort by not knowing stuff, or like living in the unknown. You're finding comfort by finding answers, seeking them out. And I say that because you also have the Sagittarius charm here. And Sagittarius represents the 9th house. It is the house of higher education, of learning, of progress, of growth, of travel. And so there's this energy of very fast movement where you are trying to learn as much as you can, or grow as fast as you can. And so there's this very overwhelming energy, and it almost feels like that's how the changes in your life are going to be made. It's almost like you're going to be triggered by this external event, and then take that as a sign to make massive changes in your life that you were thinking about, and now you're acting on it. And I say that because the Three of Wands card has most of the charms on it. And so this Three of Wands energy is basically your catalyst. It's where a lot of changes are coming. With this Three of Wands energy, when it comes to your love life or teams, partnerships in your life, this could also be in business dealings. But if you're tied to someone in some sort of contractual way, it feels like there could be a separation or a split. It also feels like there's a separation of a pair. And I say that because, like, you have the 2 cups here. You also have the teacup, the teacup and the teapot here being separated by the cup. I'm gonna be honest, it feels like there could be drama of a third party here. Someone could be trying to come between you and someone else in your life. And so that's just something to be aware of. So for those of you where, like, you're in a very happy relationship, you don't want to break up with them, and there's not a need to break up with them, it feels like you're going to have someone coming into your life and trying to separate you two, or stir up some sort of drama. And with that being said, the solution to that might be that you have to physically move, because you have the car here. So you might be changing where you live, like your environment might be changing. And that could also be something that drastically changes your life, where you literally move. You get away from whatever the comfort that you have built is. Another thing for 2025 is that you could be becoming more spiritual, or you are finding answers that make you feel more at peace with whatever your belief system is. I feel like even though you're making a lot of changes, with this transformation with the Three of Wands, it feels like you are going to feel more secure in your life, in your decisions, and who you are. And I say that because you have the phone booth here, and you also have the solar plexus charm here. And with that being said, it feels like you're going to be communicating better with yourself and feeling happier about the life that you're living and the decisions that you're making. So there's going to be this uplifting confidence that you gain, even though externally people might be looking at you like you have lost your mind. Like, it feels like you're going to be making a lot of changes and everyone's looking at you like, are you sure? And from the outside, it's not going to look super convincing, but it feels like internally you're going to be sure. And another thing I want to point out is that you have the root chakra paperclip here. And with this charm, it indicates that you are grounded. What you're doing might not seem grounded, stable, or secure, but it is. It's like your intuition is leading you to what's actually meant for you. And I know we had the Scorpio charm here. I just want to look under it real quick. So you have the alligator. And now just hear me out when I talk about this alligator charm, because it's not the traditional meaning that I would put with the alligator charm, but I recently was watching something that involved alligators, and I feel like that message is coming through. And that message is, when it comes to the transformation that's occurring in your life, because it was underneath the Scorpio charm, it means trust your instincts and your intuition when it comes to these changes. Listen to your own intuition and don't allow yourself to doubt yourself, because your intuition is your relationship with yourself. And so when you develop your intuition, sometimes you're going to believe things that other people don't believe, but that doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that you have to wait the situation out in order to be proven right. And so just because someone might be more confident that they're correct doesn't mean that they are. It feels like it's a situation where you have to wait it out. And I also want to tie this back into the Nine of Swords card here. In 2025, if you feel like there's something wrong with the situation, or something's not adding up, something's not right, I need you to follow that hunch. 2025 is a year where I need you to trust yourself, develop your intuition, and also seek out answers. If something's not adding up, figure out why that is, because following this anxiety is going to lead to answers, and that's going to allow you to make the decisions to actually transform your life. So don't get caught up in the fact that maybe you don't have solid proof for what is wrong yet. Maybe you can't make sense of it, because if you dig a little deeper, it feels like there's a reason that you're feeling insecure, or there's a reason that you're having anxiety over the situation. It feels like your fears are grounded in reality, and it's because there's something going on that maybe you aren't aware of yet, but on a subconscious level you are. And so when it comes to developing new skills this year, when it comes to developing a relationship with your intuition, and when it comes to facing your fears, healing, and stepping out of your comfort zone, it feels like your best friend is going to be research, and slow and steady. Like, this transformation does not have to be super quick. It doesn't have to be super fast. Slow and steady wins the race. And it feels like if you research things and you really take your time looking for answers, looking for insights, allowing yourself to grow at a rate that's sustainable for you, it feels like you're going to gain a lot of courage to face the unknown and to then take even bigger risk, and then not just change your life by stepping out of your comfort zone, but level up your life. What I'm hearing with the flip-flop, it's like this situation that shouldn't be relaxing becomes relaxing. It's like your approach to these changes, it's not to run into things blindly. It's to actually slow down and maybe impulsively make that change, but the next step after that is more reserved, more calculated, slower. It feels like you are really taking time to develop your strength and figure out what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And then when you are aware of your strengths in 2025, you can work with them instead of working against them. And then you have the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups really doesn't have any charms on it, but you do have the shoe here. And what this tells me is that in 2025, you are not only leveling up, changing your life, transforming, growing from triggering situations, but you are no longer afraid to walk away from things or change things anymore. It's like you are overcoming your fear of change. And it also feels like some of you are people pleasers, and so you have this fear of saying no to people, of disappointing them, of not doing the things that they want you to do. And it feels like 2025 is a year where you stop living your life for other people and start living your life for yourself. And with this Eight of Cups energy, sometimes that means changing something, going in one direction and finding out it's not for you. And by the end of 2025, it's like you're not even going to be afraid if you fail or if you do something wrong, because you're not afraid to go back and learn from your mistakes and improve and repeat the same thing, but in a better, more efficient way. With this Eight of Cups, it's like you went down this path that wasn't actually good for you, and now you can go back. Now you can be like, you know what, I messed up. I don't want to do this anymore. And you don't have to dig your heels in out of pride or ego or fear. It's like everything that's led you to live a life that you're unhappy with is no longer going to be a valid fear for you anymore. You're not going to have those same concerns. And it also feels like in 2025, there's going to be things that you think are mistakes that you learn actually aren't. It's like it feels like it's a dead end, but you keep going with it. You keep trusting your intuition, and it works out in your favor. And I say that because you're the shoe. And the shoe alone by itself is making me think of Cinderella. And at Cinderella, she has until midnight, and then she runs away because she's afraid that when she's in her rags, the prince isn't going to want her anymore. So she thinks that she made a mistake by staying out too long. She has to cut it really close. She ends up forgetting her shoe. But in reality, it's not a mistake. And the shoe being left wasn't a mistake either, because it allows the prince to find her. And so the actual mistake was the fact that the prince wouldn't want her. And it feels like in 2025, you might be making a similar mistake where you don't believe in your own power or your own ability to make something happen. And you might be putting yourself down, not believing in yourself. This might be occurring before this confidence is able to grow with the Three of Wands. And it's not that you're not able to manifest it, it's that you currently don't believe you can manifest it. And in 2025, it feels like this is a year where you figure out it's not really about how confident you feel internally. It's about how confident you appear to others as, and also how much they believe in you. And so overall, it feels like 2025 is a year for you to go on this journey of self-discovery, of transformation, while also transforming your life from how it currently is into a life where your fear is not as prominent. You're not living your life based in fear. Instead, you're living your life based on what makes you truly happy and what you thrive off of. And you are able to face your fears and gain courage this year as well. It really feels like it's a year where you were able to see what's not in alignment with you and correct that. And like I said, there's going to be some sort of triggering moment for you where something in your life can no longer continue to be in your life, and that's going to be very difficult. It's going to require a lot of strength and a healing on your part to move on from it. But that feels like that's what this year is about, is overcoming what you have lost and learning that while you lost it, there's other things in life that you still have yet to gain. And so yes, it's going to be a painful year, but it's also going to be a very rewarding year. There's a lot of new opportunities that you are going to open for yourself. There's a lot of new opportunities that you are going to chase and that you are going to receive. And so my advice when you do face challenges in 2025 is ask yourself what you can do to grow from it and what you can do to use it as a stepping stone to get more out of life and to ask more from life. Instead of allowing everything to just happen to you, seek out answers with this Three of Wands energy. Seek out growth and seek out knowledge. That's going to be your solution to the challenges you're facing, is seek out what insight or wisdom you can gain from the situation or from listening about someone go through a similar situation. Use every negative thing that happens to you this year as a catalyst to improve your life. So that's your message for 2025. I really hope you're able to manifest your dream life this year. I want to thank you lovely souls so much for watching. I hope this message provided the insight and guidance that you've been needing. If this video resonated, let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this reading, give it a thumbs up and share with someone else who might need this message too. If you want to purchase a personalized reading, you can check out my Etsy shop. The link to it's going to be in the description box down below. And don't forget to turn on that bell notification when you subscribe so you never miss a video. I post new videos every single week and I post shorts daily. I hope I was able to bring some magic into your day, and I can't wait to see you lovely souls on my next video. I hope you have a happy new year. Bye. So for your cards, you have Justice, Two of Cups, and the Six of Cups reversed. So I actually feel like 2025 is going to be a very healing year for you. And I feel like you're not anticipating it too. And I say that because it feels like things have been building up, whether it's been in the past year or even years prior, all leading to this moment. It feels like things in your life could be very tense, or you have a stressful situation that's kind of like following you. It's been lingering. And with the starfish being on the conscious shore, it feels like this could be a situation that you're stuck on. Like you don't know how to heal from it. You don't know how to move on. And so even the concept of being able to be free of it feels unknown to you. And it's not something that I think you're going to believe until it finally happens. But I do feel like it's happening in 2025. I think your hold on this situation is not going to be as intense as it currently is. And I feel like you're stuck on the situation because you haven't received closure. And I feel like you're getting that in 2025. Some of you, it's not closure where you are receiving all the answers that you need, but it is closure where this situation is done. Especially if you're dealing with a legal matter with the Justice card, it feels like there's going to be some sort of judgment coming for you in 2025. It feels like if you're dealing with a legal battle, you are going to win, especially if you're dealing with money. It feels like you're going to get what is owed. It also feels like there could be some discussions about wills, or someone who passes leaves you some sort of inheritance. It feels like there's going to be some sort of victory in your life in 2025 that provides you with some sort of stability or financial compensation. And so for those of you who are dealing with the legal situation, I feel like by having that come to a completion, that's going to take a weight off your shoulders, because that's a stress that you're no longer going to have to carry. Now, I do want to point out, you have the Be Happy heart hidden in the corner, and it's flipped upside down. And what this is telling me is in 2025, it feels like you are going to be happy, but you are hiding your happiness. And I think it's because you don't feel like you deserve to be happy, or you feel like you can't show people that you're happy. It's like you're trying to hide your happiness. You're dimming your light. And it feels like this is a choice that you're making. It feels like you don't feel like you deserve it, or it feels like there's someone specific where you don't want them to know that you're happy. It feels like if they know that you're happy, they're going to try and take it away. Another message I'm picking up for 2025, this doesn't apply to all of you, but it definitely applies to someone. It feels like you're going to be pregnant or be having a child in 2025, and I'm getting a masculine energy, so I'm picking up that it's going to be a boy. And with this Two of Cups, it feels like there's harmony in your life in 2025, especially in your relationships, but I am sensing some fears with the relationship. And I feel like this fear stems from conflict and arguments. It either feels like there's some unresolved conflict that you two have never actually sorted out, and you keep sweeping it under the rug, and at a certain point you can't keep doing that, and 2025 is the year where it kind of reaches this like breaking point, and you have to address it, you have to face it, and that's scary because confronting your fears is scary, but it is needed for you, and it's needed for this relationship. Or because of this previous situation that you were stuck on, it feels like there's fears around arguments with people. It feels like that triggers you into fight or flight mode, and prevents you from being able to handle conflict in a productive way or see how to fight in a healthy way, because all you've known is trauma responses to it. And that's something that you're going to have to work on in 2025 in order to heal it. With the key though, it feels like 2025 is a year where you are going to build healthier relationships, and these relationships are going to provide different opportunities for you. So this means that your romantic relationships are going to strengthen. This means that your friendships are going to strengthen as well. And it feels like if there are business partnerships or if you're networking with people, those two are going to strengthen. You're going to be able to develop them, and you're going to be meeting the right people who can open the right doors for you. It really feels like 2025 is a year for you to be more social, and I feel like there's a bigger freedom that you have when it comes to interacting with more people. It feels like you're not as afraid to isolate yourself. You're not feeling this need to hide away and work on your own stuff or be stressed over what you need to do. It feels like there's more of this freedom to relax in 2025 that allows you to be more casual with people and build those relationships from the ground up. With the moon charm and the sun charm being right next to one another, it almost feels like there's this emotional issue occurring in 2025 where you might be feeling like you are reflecting someone else's light too much and not doing enough for yourself. It's like you don't want your purpose to be the supporting character. You want to be the main character in your story, and I feel like you're not feeling heard or seen or feeling like you are standing out in any way. And I think your happiness is going to come into question a little bit in 2025, where it feels like you're playing this role instead of being authentic and instead of doing things for yourself. And it feels like this is an internal struggle or a narrative that you're convincing yourself of. It doesn't feel like you're surrounded by people who don't care. It feels like in 2025, you are not voicing what you need. You're not communicating, and that's making people not aware of the struggles that you're going through. So something to remember in 2025 is that if you are feeling a certain type of way, it's very important to share that with the people around you, especially the people that you love, because that's the only way that you can help yourself and that they can help you. With the snowflake being so close to it too, it almost feels as though you're being dismissed, because it's giving me the energy of like snow that falls, it's pretty, but then it melts. It disappears very fast, especially with the sun. And so it feels like you are feeling overshadowed by someone else in your life. You're almost feeling as if like they are being rewarded, but you're not. And it feels like you're supporting them, but no one's recognizing that you're supporting them. And so it almost feels like you don't feel like you know where you fit in anymore. It feels like there's perhaps changes occurring in your life and you are feeling a bit threatened by that, or your ego is feeling like you are not being rewarded for what you should be. It feels like you're not getting what you deserve, and so there's some level of resentment that's building up, and also this internal sense of not knowing who you are and not knowing what your purpose is. And so it feels like in the upcoming year, you're going to feel insecure. You're not going to know where you fit in. And so it's very important that you are aware of these feelings and you address them and you find things in life that do bring happiness. And I think maybe that is why this charm is hidden in the corner here, because you were searching for your happiness and you're not wanting people to know that you're not happy. I think you're hiding your unhappiness away from people. And I think part of your healing journey is realizing, like, after this situation has resolved itself, it's going to leave your life feeling a little bit jarring, because you had this thing that, yes, you didn't want it to consume your life, but it did. It was a major part of your life, and now it's just done. It's over with. And so yes, you got closure in the sense of you don't have to worry about it anymore, but as far as actually getting closure in order to move on, that's something that you're going to have to find within yourself. You're going to have to allow yourself to move on from the situation. And I think in order to do that, that's why we have these Six of Cups reverse, because you have these past memories that you really have to sit and analyze, and you have to stir up the trauma in order to get there. And so these Six of Cups, it's typically about memories and nostalgia. And when it's reversed, it still is about that, but it feels like it's doing so in a way where you are actively choosing to reflect on it in order to heal. And so that's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be relaxing. It's not going to be fun. But you have Jupiter here, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and it's also the planet of luck, which is why in 2025, I think you're going to be extremely lucky. I think things are working out for you. And I think you're able to manifest what you want, and that's why you have different opportunities opening up for you. And I think that's why if you are dealing with a legal matter, you will be the one victorious and things will go in your favor because luck is on your side. But with this being said, it's also about growth and expansion of your mind. And I feel like in order to heal, you have to be willing to do the work that's required of you to heal. And so that's where this Two of Cups with the charms is coming into play, because you need to be the one to address that you're not happy and do something about it. You have the fear charm for a reason, because you need to face your fears in 2025. And then something else I want to bring to your awareness is you have the dream catcher right off of the Six of Cups. So the dream catcher to me is like figuring out what dreams you want to follow through with, what dreams are important for you. And so it feels like in 2025, when you are growing and you are learning more about yourself and discovering what makes you happy, you're going to be almost taking every goal that you've ever had and looking at it and figuring out what genuinely like makes you happy. So what's the goal that you would still want? Because sometimes we have goals and they're fleeting, they're temporary. They're goals that we wanted at one point, but we don't want anymore. So you're going to be able to disregard those. But then there's going to be other goals that you do want, but you're afraid to get, or you're afraid to go for them. And so those goals are going to require a little bit more thought of, have you done enough healing to go for them? Or are you still blocked because of fears? Or is there still trauma from your past that you have to work out in order to believe that you could achieve this? And then you're also going to have to look at other goals and see if there's fears that's going to block you from getting it, not because you don't believe you can get it, but because you're going to start it and self-sabotage in some way. You're going to abandon it when something blocks you from actually getting it because of your past. And so there's a lot of questions you need to ask yourself this year. This is really the year for you to heal from the past, move on from a triggering situation, but it's going to require you to ask yourself the right questions and to be ready for the answers and to be ready to do the work that's required of you to heal. It feels like this is going to be a very rewarding year for you because luck is on your side. It feels like externally, a lot of opportunities are lining up for you. A lot of doors are opening. Anything that you were struggling with is being resolved, and it feels like it's being resolved in a way that's benefiting you, but internally is where your struggle is going to lie. And that's where there's a lot of things that you have to deal with. And part of dealing with it is communicating with people, letting people in. I feel like that's something you struggle with as well, is that you are someone where you like to handle things by yourself. You're very private. But there's a difference between being private and being secretive. And it feels like you keep secrets from people, and secrets hurt people. And it feels like if you don't communicate with the people around you, you're going to reach a point where you hurt them, and where there's going to be bigger issues than what you're currently facing internally. And so this is kind of a heads up to say it's okay to be private, but let people know on some level that you are working through things, that you are trying to find things that light you up or make you happier. Especially if you are committing to something and you have fears or reservations about it. Like, you can be excited for something and still be scared at the same time, especially like, let's say that you are having a kid. You might be really excited that you're having a kid, but also really scared that you're going to be a bad parent. And both those things are valid, but you need to communicate with your partner. You need to communicate with the support around you so that you can mitigate those fears and so that you can overcome them, you can face them. And so it feels like that's what's required of you in 2025, is that there's going to be fear around you, but you don't have to let that fear control you, and you don't have to let that fear come between you and the people that you care about. And if there is resentment building between you and someone else in your life, you need to let them know about that. You need to start working on it, because resentment is one of those things that doesn't just go away. You have to actively work on it, and sometimes it's never going to go away. So you have to really be mindful of that so that you can work out any issues you have. So this is your message for 2025. I'm sending you so much love as you're going on this healing journey. I want to thank you, lovely souls, so much for watching. And if this video resonated, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this reading, give it a thumbs up and share with someone else who needs this message. If you want to purchase a personalized reading, I sell them on my Etsy shop, and the link to it's going to be in the description box down below. Don't forget to turn on that bell notification when you subscribe so you never miss a video. I post new videos every single week, and I post shorts daily. I hope I was able to bring some magic into your day today. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a happy new year. Bye! So for your cards, you got the Knight of Wands, the Hierophant, Nine of Cups, Seven of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. So I don't know how to describe this energy besides saying it feels like 2025 is the year in which you are chasing what you want and you're not afraid of rejection. Not in the sense of you're going to be rejected, but in the sense of like, you don't mind rejecting what you don't want and saying, no, I don't want that. It's like you aren't being confined by anyone or anything, if that makes sense. It feels like 2025 is a year where you are chasing what you want and being extremely confident in that. And it feels like this is confidence that is already pretty developed within you. It feels like you're just being bolder with the choices that you're making. And you might be becoming a little more reckless, but it's reckless in the way where it's like, you're right. And I feel like that's what 2025 is about for you. It's about you being right, and you're going to prove that you're right. And you're not going to take the guidance or wisdom of someone else just because they say so, just because they act like they know better than you. With the Hierophant card here, he has the octopus over his head, and it makes me feel like there's someone in your life who's trying to tell you what rules you need to follow. It's almost like they're trying to school you as a teacher, and you're holding on to the parts that are making sense that they're saying, but you're not holding on to the concept of who they are. So it's like you're open to learning and growth, but you're not open to limitations, and you're not open to someone telling you who you're meant to be, or like exactly what you're meant to do. You don't mind guidance, but you're not going to be controlled. And it feels like that's what 2025 is you are not going to be controlled by anyone. And that includes in your own life, but also on a social level. I think you might be changing some belief systems that have controlled you or have limited you. Something else I want to point out is throughout the charms here, you have a charm to represent every chakra. So it feels like your chakras are balanced. It feels like you are very secure with who you are. Sure, there's going to be challenges throughout the year, but it's not because you're out of sync or out of alignment. You have a couple zodiacs that are standing out. So you have Scorpio, Virgo, Libra, and Gemini. So I'm going to start with this Gemini because it's on the Knight of Wands. So with this Knight of Wands, it feels like there's a goal that you want this year. And the best way I can describe the Knight of Wands energy is that you don't know how you're going to get it. You just know you're going to get it. And so this is a short-term manifestation that you are going to achieve in 2025. And the way you achieve it is not by having a plan. It is simply by just winging it and going for it. And it feels like that makes you happy, just to like have fun with things and be like, listen, I want this goal. I know it's a stretch. I don't know how I'm going to get there. And it feels like that's this level of confidence that you have. And with Gemini, it means that you are communicating that you want this. So it feels like you're going to tell people that you're working on this. It feels like you're going to communicate with people and communicate with yourself what you want and what your goal is. And it also feels like you're going to use this as a way to connect with people. Maybe you find people who share this interest, who want the same goal. Maybe you find people who could help open doors to achieve this goal. It feels like by being open about what it is you want, you're opening these doors to network and work with other people to actually achieve it. And so it feels like there's good people in your life in 2025 who could open different doors for you. And so it's a really important year for you to be social and to not hide what it is you want. Be very open and bold with what you want, even if it seems impossible in the moment. With the Hierophant, it definitely feels like there's someone in your life who you're facing resistance from. And I don't think they like the fact that you, with the throat chakra here, are very vocal about what you want and what you will do and what you won't do. It feels like they are trying to control you and they want you to like pull back. They want you to calm down. They want you to slow down. They want you to be more grounded. But you are grounded. It's just not their definition of grounded. So it feels like there's this Hierophant energy in your life who you're clashing with. You're not seeing eye to eye with them. Some of you, this is like a mentor, but others, it just feels like there's this like responsible adult in your life who's trying to guide you. And I think they mean well, but they're not understanding that there's different approaches to everything. And you just simply have a different approach. And what I love about this card in particular for you is that you have 3 cups here, which makes me think about the 3 of cups in tarot, which is celebration. Your approach is different than what they want you to do, but by being different, that allows you to be in this energy where you are able to celebrate. Another thing I want to point out, you have these 3 charms here, and I'm getting the vibe that your spirit guides are around you constantly and they are keeping you in check. Like, I think people think that you just fly by the seat of your pants and that you don't have any semblance of responsibility. But you do. Again, it's just different than what their approach would be, but that doesn't make you wrong. And it feels like you're very spiritual. You have a strong sense of intuition. And it also feels like your spiritual team is constantly around you and they're keeping you in check. Like if you messed up, you would instantly know it. And you would be receiving signs from the universe that you have to fix it. So you're not being reckless with what you're doing. It's just people who are more afraid than you would think that you're being reckless. You don't have the details of the plan worked out, but you do have a plan. That's what this Knight of Wands is. And then with this Knight of Cups, it feels like there's someone in your life who's going to see you and support you, and they're not unhinged, but they have this very wild, carefree energy where they want you to just go for it. It's like they support you unconditionally. You have Virgo and Libra here, so they could be a Virgo Libra, but I'm also picking up the Gemini energy from them. So I would not be surprised if this person, even if they're not a Gemini, if they had very strong Gemini placements, because this person communicates really well with you. It feels like you have a deep level of friendship, and they like truly understand you. And I know Virgo rules the sixth house, and the sixth house can be enemies. I don't feel like this person is your enemy. I think they actually help you figure out who your enemies are. Like, I think because this person's so authentically themselves with you and vice versa, that you two are able to figure out who the people in your life who are fake are, because they don't want you two to be friends. Like, they keep encouraging the two of you to stay away from one another. And for those of you who are single, I do feel like this person could turn into a romantic partner for you because they have the heart on top of their face. Now, for those of you where this is not a romantic connection, this just means that there's a lot of love for you. And there's a deep emotional bond connecting you to one another. It almost feels like there's a karmic connection between you two because you have the karmic link. And you also have the root chakra on the believe dog tag, which tells me that there's this grounded rootedness between you two where you two believe in one another wholeheartedly. Honestly, it feels like this person is going to be like an instant bestie, instant connection. What I'm hearing from spirit with the bird cage here and the bobby pin going towards it, it's like this person would break you out of prison. Like, there's a deep bond between you two that is very authentic, very real, and very supportive. And in 2025, when you have issues in your life and when they have issues in their life, you two are there for one another. Again, you might not have the answers as the Knight of Wands, but you are going to be there for them. You're going to show up, and nothing's going to keep you from reaching this person and supporting them and being with them. And with the Seven of Swords and the Queen of Cups, the Seven of Swords, by the door, you have this Scorpio charm here, which tells me, because Scorpio is a very transformative energy, is that there's a lesson in your life in 2025 that you're able to learn from that's going to be transformative, that's going to be life-altering, life-changing. And it feels like this situation opens the door for you. And this is a situation that you need to remove yourself from. You need to move on from. And it feels like you're going to be getting away from this situation that's no longer good for you, but it feels like it's going to be done so in a very secretive and very rushed way. It's giving the energy of like just taking all your stuff out of the house in the middle of the night. Now, that's going to apply in different ways for all of you, but that's the energy the Seven of Swords in your reading is giving me for 2025, is that there's going to be some sort of situation where you're just going to have to get away from, and you're not going to be able to really sit and brainstorm how you're going to do it. You just have to do it. And I think that's where this person could come in, because they are going to help you get away from it and be your support in the meantime. Because it feels like with this Queen of Cups energy, you're draining your cup for this person constantly. It feels like this situation is not healthy for you, it's not good for you, and it's not supportive. I feel like you're surrounded by someone who is constantly trying to tear you down to build themselves up, and staying in this situation any longer is not going to be beneficial for your mental health. And so it feels like 2025 is a year where you not only like step into your confidence, step into your power, and realize what you're able to manifest and what you're able to achieve, but you're also removing yourself from situations that hold you down, that prevent you from being confident in yourself. You're removing yourself from situations where you have to dim your own light. And I think you're realizing that there's people who do support you for who you are and aren't going to ask you to change and not going to ask you to be anything different than who you actually are. And I think it takes this karmic connection coming into your life for you to finally be able to realize that. Another thing I want to point out with Libra here is that this is the scales. So Libra represents justice. It represents balance. And I think your life is not fully balanced because you have this inner confidence, but you have people in your life between the Seven of Swords and the Hierophant where they don't want you to be confident. So you are filling your own cup up, but no one else is really supporting you. No one else is filling that cup up into this Nine of Cups. And so this is the year for you to get what you deserve. And I feel like there's going to be more self-love in 2025 as well, because it feels like you love yourself, but you're not acting like you do. You love yourself in the sense of you're confident, you believe in yourself, you believe that there's nothing you can't do, but you keep yourself in situations with people who don't love you. And you're surrounded by them and you haven't removed yourself yet. And so this is the year for you to not only be worth more, but to believe in yourself enough to put yourself in situations where you demand more. And so it feels like 2025 is going to be a really good year for you. And it almost feels like you're going to get good things initially and be like, this is one of the best years ever. Like, I'm so grateful for everything in my life that's lining up. And then it's going to be like your life is catapulted into even more good things. And it's going to occur in a way where it's like you didn't even think that it was possible for you to be happier than you were, but then you get even happier. With this change that occurs, it's not like everything's going to be super easy and happy all the time, but it's like you're going to realize very quickly after removing yourself from this situation with the Seven of Swords that this situation was not making you happy, and you were staying in it because you didn't know that you could get out of it. It's not that you didn't believe you could get out of it, it's that like you didn't know that you should. And you realize that you should get out of it, and so you did. And so there's going to be some healing from that. There's going to be some processing of everything that happened that led to that point. But it feels like with that being said, it's going to be easy for you to move on from it. Like, it feels like you have the methods for healing in place that, yes, it's going to take some time, but it's not going to be something that you hold on to forever. It feels like the universe is opening up better opportunities for you, where you are leveling up because of this karmic lesson, and it feels like you passed the test, and now better things are coming for you. And so it feels like there's a lot of lessons and karma that's occurring in 2025, and there's going to be spiritual upgrades for you. I think you could be going through more spiritual awakenings, and those of you who are psychic, you could be developing your psychic abilities and developing your intuition and your ability to pass messages along to other people. And it really feels like your spirit team is around you, they're protecting you, they're guiding you, and they're giving you signs on what they want you to focus on. And I think that's why it's very easy for you to do things without a plan, because your guides are always communicating with you. And that's also what that Gemini energy is. And it feels like your guides are sending you someone very important to help you throughout the year, to support you throughout the year. And that allows you to feel like you finally can get out of this situation because you're realizing that it's not serving you. I think you stayed in it because you didn't realize that it wasn't serving you. It's like you knew that things weren't perfect, but you thought that it was okay. And 2025 is a year where you're realizing you want more than okay. You want to thrive. And it really feels like you have the energy and the power this year to thrive, to manifest beyond what you ever thought was possible. Again, not because you don't believe in yourself, but because you never really thought more about it. This is a year where you're not the only one pouring into your cup, and you're realizing your full potential when you have support. Because think about how good your life currently is by you being the only one who's giving to yourself. And now imagine what it would be like if you had people who supported you, who built you up, instead of trying to tear you down. Because whether or not it's from good intentions, it's not supportive, it's not helping you, it's controlling, it's confining, it's trapping you. And so imagine how good it's going to get when this person comes into your life, helps you pick the lock, and helps you reach your full potential. So that's your message for 2025. I'm sending so many good vibes your way. I feel like this is going to be a really beneficial year for you. I want to thank you lovely souls for watching so much, and I hope this message provided the insight and the guidance that you've been needing. If it resonated, let me know in the comments down below, and also give this video a big thumbs up and share with someone else who might also need to hear this message. If you want to purchase a personalized reading, you can check out my Etsy shop. The link to it's going to be in the description box down below. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you turn on that bell notification so you never miss a video. I post new videos every single week, and I post shorts daily. I hope I was able to bring some magic into your day, and I can't wait to see you lovely souls at my next video. I hope you have a very happy new year. Bye!